For those of you ladies out there that need some gift ideas for your husband, boyfriend, dad, any guy who's a manly man, the kind of guy that when you ask him, what's a woman? He says, somebody with 3 holes instead of 2. These are the gifts that he would like. If you've ever watched a man work, you know he breaks stuff all the time. Some drill bits is a great, simple idea. Get something made by a company that's something you see all the time, Milwaukee, DeWalt, some kind of a real company. Take a look at your man's power tools. If he has all the same kind of tools, you can see I have Milwaukee. That's what I have. All these batteries are the same. The bigger the number, the longer it lasts. So this is a kind of a smallish one. This one says 12 on it. I don't know if you can see it. It's a 12 amp hour. It's very expensive, but it lasts a long time. It'll get you through the whole day. So if he has power tools and you hear him complaining about having to charge them all the time because they're always dead or he doesn't have enough of them, something with a 6 or bigger is going to last a real long time. The 12 super expensive. It's only one tool. You can get 2 6 amp hour ones for the same price as the 12. However much you want to spend, it's going to be close to $300. But make sure he has all the same kind of tools. Look at what brand it is and try to buy a battery that goes along with that. Back to the breaking things stuff. Sawzall blades wear out all the time. If you want to buy him some Sawzall blades, those are always a nice thing to have extra of. Use one hand here. Try to get something, same thing, a decent brand. These red ones are Diablo. Lennox is good. Same thing, get something, DeWalt, whatever, stuff like that. If he uses a grinder a lot, you see him working with metal and stuff, you can always get some of these flap wheels. I'd never seen these before, but I picked them up. They work pretty good. Same thing, get something that's, a name that you see a lot of. Let's see, you can get, I like these channel lock screwdrivers. They got a flat, a Phillips. You take it out. It's got the little ones in there. They're you can get that off Amazon pretty easy. I like that better than the Chinese made stuff. It's just where's the model? This is a channel lock 61H. It feels kind of cheap when you get it, but this plastic, once it gets dirty, is actually nice. This is the old style one. If you left it in some carb cleaner, it would melt the plastic there. These are a little bit better for that. Knipex pliers are good. They're a little pricey, but they're really nice. I like them a lot. Channel lock's good. You got to kind of gauge what he's got, what he doesn't have. Be a little bit of an investigator. If your husband carries a knife all the time, or your dad, or your boyfriend, whatever, if you see him using stones to sharpen and everything he has, like you're afraid to touch because it's so sharp, he's, probably not going to want something quick. But this is a really good product, select tool. It's not the same as the other kind of gimmicky looking sharpeners you see. It has a really aggressive tool steel over here, so you can shave some metal off, get your angle right, and then it's got a little hone. Ceramic rod goes good with that. I made a video. It's literally a minute long. I go from a knife I could drag on my fingers to a knife I shaved some hair off my arm with. So that's a great thing. He might be a little confused when he sees it if he's not familiar with it, but that's really good. Let's see what else. Wire brushes. If all his wire brushes look boogered up, you can get him some new ones. Those are always handy to have around. If the guy you're shopping for is listening to music on his phone in the garage, maybe consider getting him a big speaker. I got this last year. I really like to jam out. It's nice. Charges my phone. This one isn't anything specific that I recommend. This one works good, but you can get any kind of a speaker like that, help him jam out in the garage. If he's got a lot of tools and he moves them around, takes them with him and stuff, these toolboxes with the drawers in it are real nice. A big, deep toolbox. I don't have one It's just got a big bin to it. But if it's just a big bin, everything sits in the bottom and you got to, go through all of it to get what you want. I've become a real big fan of these with the little drawers. Helps you stay organized. If he doesn't have anything that looks like this, a wrench with a ratcheting end, they're super handy. I use those all the time. Believe it or not, this brand Quinn, it's a cheap compared to other things. Less expensive brand you can get at Harbor Freight. They're actually pretty good. I have some old Husky ones that are pretty good. Just use your discretion with that stuff. If you see he has a common brand, all his tools are the same, especially if you see something like Snap-on, you're not going to want to get him anything that's less expensive. But if your husband, boyfriend, dad, whatever, has a little bit of a mishmash around and you see he doesn't have something with the ratcheting ends on it like that, he'd probably really like that. And these Quinns from Harbor Freight are pretty good. I'm a big fan of this little jeweler's set. It's you got little flat screwdrivers, little Torx, little Phillips, little square drives. This is pretty cheap from Home Depot. It's not the greatest quality tool you'll ever see, but I have like 2 of these, one in the garage, one in the house. It's nice, you booger it up, whatever, it's $10, you throw it away, get another one. That's real handy to have around, if you're fixing toys or watches or whatever, if it's not your all the time thing, but it's something you've heard them say, oh, I wish I had a jeweler's set or a smaller set of screwdriver tips. That's real good. Another handy thing, I keep it over here with that. It's a set of files that's real small. If he does, little fixing stuff for you, and he's a real precision-minded guy, he likes to make things fit real tight. Sometimes these little tiny files work good. Same thing, it's like a little $10 set. Once again, not earth-shattering quality-wise, but it's cheap and they're pretty good. If he's always rummaging around looking for razor knives, get him a couple of these. They got little extra blades in there. It's Stanley. It's a standard Lowe's, Home Depot kind of an item. When you get into a project and you start moving these around, I have 3 here because they end up all over the place. There's always one there. Then I put them back. It's a good system. I like it. Guys that work on stuff could always use WD-40, brake cleaner, carb cleaner. This isn't the greatest brand here, but you go through a lot of it, so you can just get any kind of a carburetor cleaner or brake cleaner. It's usually pretty helpful. So like I said, WD-40, guys go through that a lot. If the guy you're shopping for is always out there working on the car, but he's doing the lug nuts by hand, consider getting him some kind of an impact driver. Once again, go by whatever brand you see his other tools are, so all the batteries will interchange with each other. This makes life so much easier. Another tool that I've come to like, if you're going to Harbor Freight for those ratcheting wrenches, this Bremen brand is surprisingly good. It's as good as my Irwins that I have, and it's a third of the cost. Be careful at Harbor Freight. Some of the stuff is real crap, but Bremen and Quinn, those 2 things that I've bought from there, I really like. And a guy could typically use some extra vice grips. Handy to have extras. You keep them in your other toolboxes or some in your car, whatever. You got little vice grips. The needle nose ones are handy. So, for something like $16-20, you could get a couple Bremen brand. Like that one's a Bremen, this one's a Bremen. Maybe a couple sizes. Very handy. It's nice to have extra. If your man's packing that big dick energy, you could head him over to Big Dick Ballistics, where he could watch manly gun videos, and you could buy him some cool stickers and shirts. Little lights for when you're working on stuff are nice. This one, I don't know where it came from, but anything similar to this where you can kind of angle the light. Or like if you're laying under a car or you're under the kitchen sink or something, you need a little extra light. These are good. Another thing that's always handy, you could use some more of, the headlamps. I use them all the time when I'm working on stuff. Depending what kind of work the guy you're shopping for does, it's always handy to have some extra different kinds of files. You can buy sets of them at Home Depot. They come. Try not to get like the knockoff, real cheap brand. If it's too cheap, it's probably not the greatest. But an assortment of different files is good. Oh, these punches are always handy to have. What brand is this? Mayhew. They come in a big assortment. I forget how much it is. It's nothing crazy. You get little ones and big ones and angled ones and all that stuff. They're handy to have. If the guy you're shopping for has a grease gun and it doesn't have an end with this little springy thing on it, and you've seen him struggle trying to grease something, trying to push the end in. This is a self-locking little end. This one's a little bit extra long. There's a standard one that's about to there that's actually real good too. This is Lock and Lube. Sounds dirty, but it's fun. You can get them one of those. You just put Lock and Lube on Amazon. The long one's specialty. You can just get a standard one. They're like $30. They're make a huge difference when you're trying to grease something. You want to drop some bigger money on your man and he likes to work out and do stuff at home. Power Block, the adjustable dumbbells, they're really nice. They look kind of goofy, but I like these a lot. They're well balanced. They feel good. You have to you could flatter him a little bit, ask him how much he curls or benches or whatever, try to get an idea what kind of weight he needs. These go up to 175. Most guys would probably be good with 100 or 120. Very expensive. This set for the 175 is like $2,000. But the lower you go, the less expensive they are. I think the 100-pound ones are pretty reasonable. Having clamps is always handy too. Bigger clamps. I forget what size this is. It's probably like let's have the metric side facing us. 8-inch clamp all the way down to something like a 2-inch clamp. Having an assortment of all the sizes. You can take a look at your man's tools, see what he's got, and if he doesn't have a bunch of different sizes, get him a couple different ones if he does a lot of working on things that he clamps down. All men love knives, even if they have knives already. More is good. If you want to surprise them and get them something super duper nice, this is a Benchmade. Benchmades are very expensive. There's auto open, flip open, the ones that open out the front. This is like a $300 one. The ones that shoot out the front are, I think, about $500, but it's a good American-made knife. There's tons and tons of knife options. Once again, you can kind of look and see if there's a consistent brand that he likes. Maybe get him something in that series, or, every guy would be happy to have a Benchmade knife. This is great. I forget what model it is, but anything that opens by itself is extra exciting too. You just gotta make sure you don't get him arrested, depending where he is. Another great knife option if you want to support a small business is 3 River blades. These are handmade by my buddy. Get off of there. They're very nice. He's got a bunch of different selection. You can look him up. 3 River Blades is his website. He's got a lot of cool stuff. You're paying for a handmade knife, but you're also getting a handmade knife. It's good stuff. So like I talked about a bunch of times already, people, they have certain brands that they like. Most guys really like the Channel Locks, the Knipex, Knipex, when it comes to hand tools and pliers. Like I said, unless they're professional and they're, super into Snap-on and, the higher end stuff, those Quins from Harbor Freight, Bremans from Harbor Freight are pretty decent. Like I said, don't get too much of their stuff unless you know what he likes or doesn't like. But in my experience, those have been real good. The power tools, like I said, the bigger the number on the battery, the longer it's going to last them. That 12 amp hour battery I have in my circular saw, it costs a fortune, but I can use it the whole day, pretty hard, and I don't have to recharge it. Works out real good. Men tend to standardize. So like I said, look at his tools. They're all whatever certain brand on the power tools. Stick with that same battery. If you get a tool that claims to do a whole bunch of different things, probably not the best tool for any one job. So,
Just keep that in mind. If somebody's trying to sell you something, or you're looking at something that's kind of cheap, says it does a bunch of stuff, he probably doesn't want that. So don't get him that. I hope that helped. My channel's little. You leave a comment, I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.